Interesting to see how they get on. Particularly, for me, I'm excited to watch Greg play. I think he's been knocking on the door of doing something really big this year. I know he's been putting some good work in recently. That's a lovely break to kick us off.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's a player who's not found a lot of consistency over the last couple of years, but this year he has put together some really good runs, and he's always been a dangerous player, but he's not much of a practicer. He'll tell you that he never practices, but he does play a lot of tournaments and a lot of local events just to keep himself in touch. And he is a fierce opponent. A real contrast to styles between these two, actually. Greg, a far more measured player. You'll see him take his time around the table and plan the route just as he is here. Cole is going to be a lot faster, a lot more aggressive and attacking.
I often think when I watch Greg play, we always think, don't we, that so much of top level sport, which this is. I mean, this is the pinnacle of the game essentially. Is sort of played between the ears at some point in the sort of top 100 players that we've got here in the country. The diminishing returns on actual ability of patterns and potting and all the rest of it. The level is so finite. It doesn't really matter. It's more about your mental game. How confident are you feeling? Can you keep it together when the pressure's on? And for me, I think it's something that I know Greg would love to be more consistent on that front. Often think at times he's too bright for his own good. he could do it being a bit dimmer and maybe not overthinking it as much sometimes.
Just landed betwixt and between nothing here. May just be able to get past the yellow for this red to middle. That was always going to be the key shot, that last one. Just you can see he thinks it goes. He's going to pinch the pocket here. It's going to be towards the bottom knuckle. Yeah, you could see use that knuckle and
it's a good shot that.
Yeah, grazed the yellow almost on the way past. It was that tight. Yeah, very well controlled. Needs another one here though. It's got a bit more angle than he wanted, so may have to use the 8-ball here.
Well, yeah, I did wonder. I thought he was going to flick the red, and in the end, the pot hasn't even gone, so he'd have been in trouble even if it had. Brings, well, there's his name, Chaos Cole Bedford to the table. There's never been a more fitting nickname for any pool player, I don't think. But I'm a huge fan of Cole's. I think he's an absolute joy to watch. And when he's on it, there are a few more entertaining players to actually watch play the game at a really, really high level.
Yeah, I mean, just the whole game plays out on his face, which is the joy of watching Cole. You just see every emotion. Again, just landed a little bit kind of no man's land, so he's just going to play a little safety here, develop the yellow off the top cushion, and leave the cue ball up at this top end, not leaving anything for Greg to attack. Nice little shot, actually. It's tough for Greg to get any kind of safety from here.
Yeah, it wasn't very chaosy of Cole, was it?
No, not often you see that.
Very, very, very sensible. I'm wondering what he's done to himself.
Well,
heard you in the last match that he's been on the exercise bike this morning. I feel like a man reinvented.
Yeah, he's got a bet on going at the moment with Luke Gilbert that he won't drink for a year, and I think he's about a month or so into it, and he's definitely lost some weight. As mentioned, he was in the gym this morning, and then we went out to lunch, and I think that all contributes to a bit more of a kind of level-headed Cole. He we talk about the mental side of the game. I mean, it plays out more in Cole's, in the way Cole plays than anybody else. You always want him to have that kind of raw aggression because that's where the best of his game comes from. But if you can harness it in a way, then you suddenly may start to see us even more of them coming out.
Well, it's almost like it's like the sort of the Incredible Hulk paradox, isn't it? You want to be able to control that sort of beast, and when you can't, then all of a sudden it's problematic.
Yeah.
He's not come out where he wanted to be here. You just wonder if it's time to pull back, or whether he's too deep into committing here. Is he looking at playing this off the red? He looks very thin on it, but it would develop the yellow. He's having a look. It might be the only way he can get out. Yeah, he's cutting this. Oh no!
No, it's one of those. If he was going to double it, he really did have to punch it hard, and he couldn't quite get enough in it to straighten it up. Catches that top knuckle. As we've mentioned before, the middle bags do play slightly more generously, but not generous enough. If we've seen it a few times today, balls missing on those knuckles, and now what should be a fairly straightforward clearance for Greg. First frame, obviously always a key frame to get on the board, but you feel even more so when both players have had a bit of a dip at it. I would have fancied their chances.
I mean, he's going to be the Pac-Man to get over the line first. That is 1-zip.
I think this table, this slightly tighter table, suits Carl Morris's style. I said that to him, cue ball, that's unlucky.
That's really unlucky. That's really unlucky.
I said that to Carl when he was having a knock previously. He's one of those players who's quite pinpoint in his potting, and the tighter tables will definitely suit him. I think we saw that a little bit. He had a good deep run in the last weekend that we were here.
Well, what I think leans into that, Nick, is I think the way that Carl always used to play the game, even when he was at his very, very best, when he was world number one back, turn of the century, is he was always, I thought, a very, very humble pool player, always sort of recognised the limits of his own ability and really played for that. If there's not the finish on and he doesn't feel like he can comfortably get them, he will turn it down. He wants every shot almost to be unmissable.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And that's how he garners into the whole game.
Yeah.
Which suits these tighter tables.
You can even see it in his cueing style. I mean, his cueing style wouldn't work on a snooker table.
No.
It's very jabby. It's very short. It's really hybrid to 8-ball, and his cue's like a toothpick. I don't know what size it is, but it's a tiny tip. In the meantime, Greg Batten with this another superb chance. That's.
He's either absolutely perfect or he's slightly too far.
I think he's on the button for where he wants to be.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely perfect, as I say. It was a lovely leave, in truth, from Cole's break. Cole was really, really unlucky to go in off the way he did. He can have a little bit of an inconsistent break sometimes, but his cue ball was really safe until it wasn't. Didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, but he is a bit of a confidence player, and there's 2 visits to the table. Now the first one was a very, very difficult clearance, but one that he would have wanted.
And his first break of the match was excellent, and that's. Cole will be thinking justice. That's exactly what happened to him.
Yeah,
we've seen 3 brilliant breaks in this match. All 3 of them objectively great. Exactly what you want to do, and 2 of them have been kicked in off. It's a silly old game.
Just a tricky table. The 8-ball tied up just above the yellow. The reds are all on top of each other. The reds do all actually go, apart from the one that's just adjacent to the yellow, but it's going to be easy to move. He's got the angle now to move it. I think he'll probably take one of these balls on the side first. Yeah, so now he can take that ball to top right, a natural angle to come and cannon into the other red. He wants to, like a half ball glance, and he should be left on a choice of a couple of balls. And then the eye just turns to the 8 ball. Needs a plan for that.
Yeah, and
it's okay.
He can use that red at the bottom of the table potentially, which is a fairly natural connection to bumping into the 8 ball. But if you leaving it till last, it's a big problem. I just think of our number one player, someone like a Tom Cousins. How does he approach this frame? And I'd be very, very surprised if it involves bumping that 8 ball last. It may do, but I'd be surprised. If Cole's on that red now, to the bottom left, he could have a bit of a go at it with the insurance of the top of the table remaining.
I think he has to. I don't think the red that he's closest to passes the other one. So if it does, then he can take. Yeah, well, he's looking at it now. He does have an angle from that red that he could come side cushion and into that 8 ball. Well, it clearly does pass. So he does have the angle here. No, it's no good, and he's not left an angle on the red to bottom left either. Forced to take that, so now he's going to have to move the 8 ball from the ball at the top of the table, and this suddenly becomes very, very difficult.
Yeah, I must admit, when he was originally lining that shot up and it was coming off the side rail into the 8, always felt like a better way to go about it. I think the way that he eventually decided, by sort of trying to almost stun screw down the line, it's a really difficult shot to judge that.
Yeah, the problem was the middle pocket was in the way of the line that you wanted to come cushion first and into it. That if the
Sorry, Nick. Just watching Cole's face and just enjoying myself.
The trouble is, he's going to have to zip this. He's got no angle whatsoever.
Oh, how good a shot! How good a shot is that? Oh. He's got a shot.
Got a double.
He's got a shot. It's a great effort to go into.
Done well to give himself any kind of chance. I don't think he's played for the double by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's come to cannon the yellow, but maybe doing him a disservice. Maybe he did.
Oh,
Cole Bedford.
How about that to get your first frame on the board for the weekend?
Well played, sir. And Carl would be the only person in the world to do this, but he actually watched Jason on Facebook while he changed the photo. Because Carl's had the cue since he was 16 years of age. Jason said he was shaking while he was doing it. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I can imagine that. I can well imagine that.
Put him under the pump. Carl's the only person to do that. I want to watch you do it.
Such a Carl Morris request, isn't it? And Cole's going to have first chance in frame number 4. Successful break and an opportunity here on reds. Pretty nice one as well. Everything connects up quite nicely here. Well, I could only imagine he was planning on being much further across.
Yeah, it needs to be straighter.
Because surely the plan was red to right centre next.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the cue ball's doing a bit of mileage here and going straight into the area. He doesn't really want to move. He wants it to be straight on every single red.
I think he still has to play the ball to left centre, but if he does, he's going to have to play a cannon now. He doesn't want to play the cannon, so he's going to... This isn't too bad, actually. Now, you can see from Cole's look that he's not over the moon, but it's actually a fairly... I won't say natural, but it's not a bad two-cushion escape through the gap of the yellows. you can come around them. There's quite a big gap between the two yellows that are below the 8 ball. You can come bottom cushion, side cushion through that gap. Just like so.
Oh, shot, Cole.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is cue ball in hand perfect. Well played.
Yeah. He made it look easy. It definitely wasn't. It was really well judged.
Buffalo cheeks. He is absolutely relentless, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's on such form. He's even knocking the yellows towards the pockets of his hand. It is a case of careful what you wish for. Greg is breaking really well. I noticed it. It's one of those. I'll ask you, Nick. You know him really well. Feels like a sort of a new thing that he's doing, where he's almost got like a newish pre-break routine. I noticed him sort of place the cue really accurately down and sort of step into it, and everything's been very deliberate. And so far, all the breaks have been really, really consistent and straight to that back cushion. Is that something newish, or has he always done that?
No, I think it is fairly new. He's got this break cue that he's been working with for a while. Not something that he used to use, but he's starting to find some fortune. I think he is a very, very methodical and kind of just thinks out everything. And I think it's definitely a new routine for him. But as you say, it's working.
Well, if you could break like that for the whole tournament, you're almost guaranteed to be a bit of a threat.
Yeah. The winner of this game will play the winner of Carl Cope and Phil Harrison. So their reward on the line.
There's a clash of eras right there, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Phil would always go into that match as a favourite, but Carl Cope, what a talent he is. Would be at all shocked to see him win that match.
No, not at all. And sort of player Kyle, who I think really often say about Phil Harrison, he's your favourite pool player's favourite pool player. And I think those who really love the game, and I think Kyle is one of those who appreciates the finer points and everything that Phil does really, really well. I can imagine that'll be quite a nice opportunity, really, for him to have front row seat to the Phil Harrison experience. But I often think that the idea of playing Phil's great until you actually sit in the chair against him. But
well, this has been a lovely clearance so far from Greg. I mean, all the reds were there, but it's been absolutely pinpoint with the cue ball.
Yeah, it just is all down to the shot, isn't it? I mean, he's played everything perfectly now. He just has to play one more good shot. If he doesn't, everything's in vain.
Yeah, just a trace of left-hand side. Just to get that cue ball across the table. He's okay. He's okay. What a game so far. 5 frames played. Greg Batten takes the lead again. He won the first 2. Cole Bedford fought back to 2 each, and now Greg takes the lead again.
So really starting to heat up. It's Greg Batten who leads by 3 frames to 2.
Amazing how Cole addresses that ball.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
But I mean, it's just while he's cueing it. He cues. You see here, cues to the extreme right hand side of the ball, pulls the cue back, and then hits centre ball. I mean, it's he does it on every shot. It's absolutely amazing. Very, very strange.
It's incredible, isn't it? There's so many different quirks, and we see it in other cue sports as well, which maybe require, in theory, a more sort of machine-like action. People talk about like a trump cue action and all the rest of it. Like, you'd never ever teach it. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as the person using it knows exactly how it works. Then it's really okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd never ever teach what Cole's doing, but yeah, who cares? It works.
Yeah.
And despite hitting a good break, which he absolutely did, he's not going to get first opportunity in this one.
A little bit of traffic and landed hampered under the top cushion as well. It shouldn't matter on this shot. This is just a drop into the middle. Oh, well, I say that. That is a mistake. And that really was just the cue ball. Lost the cue ball to the top cushion on the shot before. Made that shot a little bit more tricky than it needed to be.
I think he was just trying to be a bit cute as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Pot it on the thickest part of the jaw, hold the white as much as you can. It just does bring that sort of shot into play.
You cannot take liberties with these middles. People talk about them being generous. You cannot take a liberty.
Yeah, I think so. But by the same token, I was just about to say, actually, how you mentioned how he was sort of tight to the top cushion. Those shots shouldn't really bring out the same amount of fear as they maybe once used to. The cushions will feel a lot lower compared to other tables that they'll be used to. Whoa.
Great double, and I think this red goes off the yellow here as well. So I kind of thought he may play this shot as his previous shot. But
I was half expecting Cole to sort of just chill out a little bit there and sort of take it a bit of a slow game, but
that's lovely though.
He's fizzing.
I mean, the way he's played that, he's used the yellow to come down and cannon his reds out as well. That really was a well played shot. Could have been a little bit easier, but he's still at the table. Needs one good one here though. That's just going to.
Or can he hit the gap? Is he on that middle of the three reds? I think he is. I think he's had a right result here, Nick. He wasn't playing for this. No way.
It's tight. I'm not sure it. I don't know. Even if he can get it, what can he do with the cue ball? That's a problem there.
Or is he looking at red off red?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he can get to the potting angle. He can get to the top edge. This would be some shot. Take some judgment. You've got to get the far side of the red. Just clip it. Oh, what a shot.
Oh, that's very, very good. And he can draw back here to take the bottom red last.
He's got a big target too. He's got the two yellows as his buffer. Could have got into that a bit better, Colt.
Yeah, has he just decelerated on that a little bit?
Felt like it. I don't think he quite had the angle that I thought he did, where he could screw straight back into those yellows. So he was always just going to come. But I mean, he had such a gap to play into. Could have come another 3-4 inches.
Well, that's it. But he sort of looked like he pumped the red in a little bit. So you almost think, well, was he just not low enough on the cue ball?
Still fancy him for the pot, but where does the cue ball go? Is he going to be on the 8? Oh, wow. He's going to have to pull something special here. The line to the bottom cushion, the natural line, is covered by the yellow, so all he's got here is bottom cushion with rakes aside, and that makes it even more difficult to judge. He's going to have to come inside that yellow and play it with left side.
Oh my God.
What a shot.
Oh, Bedford. You bad man. That is a ridiculous finish. Oh, wowee.
He's had to just miss that yellow, play it with side to hold the cue ball off the bottom cushion. Just slightly ahead of schedule. Next up on the stream table is scheduled for 6 o'clock is Paul Clack against Scott Gillespie. You'd think that will be just a touch earlier than that, depending on how this match plays out.
That's excellent from Greg Batten. Another fantastic. He's breaking so well.
Yeah. Absolutely he is. He's getting the rewards. Doesn't have an opener on yellows. Is forced to go reds. He's got one problem red. It's just below the 8 ball. On the bottom cushion, you can get to the potting angle a bit through the gap. And if you're where the yellow is, that's just to the left of the 8 spot, you could pot that ball from there, but just needs a bit of thought in this clearance.
And how difficult does this clearance become now with what Cole Bedford just did to him?
Yeah. Yeah, the other difficulty here, of course, is transitioning down table. He's going to have to play this one to top right now. He's got the ball near the left side cushion. He's going to have to use that ball to come down table, but there's a lot of traffic on yellows. This is tricky. Yeah, so much so he's going to play the double now and use that. I think probably rightly so. Use that red to top left to come down table. I think that's the right shot. Just flick a touch of side on left. It's almost natural ball. Just come 2 cushions. Yeah, that's Tracer's side would have maybe just taken the cue ball lower. Now he needs a good shot because he's got to cut this in. He's got to cannon the yellow full ball to find that gap for the yellow. And unless he can get enough into this to come across and cannon the yellow on the bottom cushion, come in below it. Don't think. Oh, he could. He could.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, that is a good shot. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether he could just get enough into it to hold on that ball.
Yeah, I really like that from Greg. Now he uses that yellow. That's a lovely little bit of touch there. You notice as well, he made that on the thicker side of the pocket. Just gave himself every possible chance to work that cue ball across the bottom rail.
Yeah.
And given what, as we mentioned, given what Cole Bedford just did to him.
Find this frame, then Greg goes 2 ahead, breaking in the next, and the way he's breaking, well, it could be. Oh, that cue ball was heading perilously towards that bottom right corner pocket. Just gets kicked out of the way. Watch this.
You have to say as well, though, Nick, the way that Cole's breaking brilliantly as well.
Yeah.
You know, we're watching 2 players just play some really, really good stuff here.
Yeah, he's had 1 dry break, but even then, it was a great split.
I always sort of judge a break on 2 things, you know, quality of contact, you know, how good's the split, you know, power through the pack, that sort of thing, and your cue ball. If you tick those 2 things off and you don't get a ball, you're just unlucky, really.
Oh, he knew how big that was.
Oh, Cole.
He knew how big that was. That was huge. He puts his hand up to apologise because he's not left much.
Well, do you go reds if that plants?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's probably forced to go reds here. But, I mean, if he'd left the yellow, they were absolute gimmies. The reds aren't bad, actually.
The reds aren't bad, but they're not exactly gimmies, are they?
No.
Couple on rails.
But in fairness to Cole, he was a little bit unlucky not to be left an easier opener. He was left with one with a bit of pressure. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want reds.
Oh, he's worked that well, though.
Yeah, he knew there was a bit of pressure on that yellow. So like I mentioned a second ago, this is a massive frame, absolutely huge. If Greg takes from here, which it looks like he will, then, you know, breaking in the next the way he's breaking, how does Cole get back into this match? I think that was playing in his mind.
You know, we've watched an awful lot of Pro Series matches between us now. I don't know how you think of it, but I often think in these races to 7s, the first mini race to me is almost a 5. 5 feels like base camp. Once you've got there, you're then favourite to win the match.
Yeah.
And the difference between 5-3 and 4-4, I think, is so big.
Needs to find one here, just come across and cannon the 8 ball. Leaves himself a little bit close to his work, but he's absolutely fine. This is as good as I've seen Greg Batten play for a long time.
Looks very, very sharp, yeah. Really sharp.
The cue ball was on a dime. It's hard to think of too many times when he's been in trouble, like run out of position or just looked like he was going to snooker himself. It looks like he has been in control. As I say that, he's got a little bit of a problem here. And that triangle takes him towards the red on the top cushion. He just needs to avoid that ball. screwed across the face of it, in behind the reds. Disaster. Just as I was saying, he's been in control of that cue ball. But it was all about that previous shot. He left himself a horrible angle. And so much so that as soon as you're playing that as a screw shot and coming across side cushion and back across again, you're trusting to a bit of luck, because he had to avoid those. I'm not convinced. I don't think the 8 ball passes to bottom left, so he had to get right across those yellows. So he had to avoid them completely. And
oh, he's close. Oh, he was really close. Good effort.
Oh, Cole would have bounced out of his chair there. I think he would have feared the worst.
Well, we said, didn't we? You know, the difference between 5-3 and 4-4 is absolutely massive, and that is so true if you're Cole Bedford, because you're so desperate to be 4-4. Although he's played a bad shot there.
That's ordinary. Really is. I mean, it's a simple enough snooker. You can just run in behind the red, but it really is very ordinary. And that 8's fairly close to the pocket. He doesn't want to leave a one cushion escape.
Yeah, I mean,
that's okay.
I think he's gone back to his chair absolutely sick with himself. It's one of those where I know Cole's the sort of character who's always going to be very hard on himself. He is that sort of quite emotional guy around the table, but for me, you're in complete control of this frame. Even though he's played a bad shot to be up there, just reset, get back on it. You're still in complete control.
He's left Greg the one cushion escape here, though. I mean, that's a little bit unforgivable, because you know he's going to get out of it, and the chances are he's going to get close. You know, any kind of full ball contact there, and that 8's pushing towards the pocket.
Yeah, he just had to bend the cue ball, I think, which added to the tariff of it. Cole now can get to work and get this frame won.
You've got to say, though, of the two players, Greg's has been more clinical, but it's been a great standard from both.
Yeah, I think for me, just the one big mistake from Greg, really. It was in this frame, not getting on that 8 ball. Other than that, been pretty impressive.
I just don't really understand the shot before, because he didn't need to leave the angle that he did. Maybe just underhit it slightly, or...
Well, he was so close to that yellow, wasn't he? I just wondered if he was a bit jabby with it and just didn't feel comfortable trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Cole this time has been clinical. He's not made any mistakes with these reds. Much more like it. Oh, it's felt like, in a way, this is the sort of match that's deserved to go 4-4. I'm sure both those players won't be thinking like that, but we don't have to worry about that as neutrals. We're just in for a good game, and 4-4, 18 minutes left. It's poised to be a big finish here. This has been a cracker. And it's been so consistent for him.
Oh, cue ball again.
I mean, that's pull, isn't it? That is pull. You make a big mistake in the frame before, you continue to hit your break well. It's his top cushion. It's okay. And it's just been guided into that top right corner pocket.
The only saving grace is there is a problem in the middle of the table. The yellow on top of the red. I mean, you could play short position on it. It will go to left centre, and you actually do. Oh yeah, there is an out here actually, isn't there? Take this to top left, and you've got the one to middle, bottom left, bottom right, and you could leave that ball as your last ball to get on the 8. Just play short position and take it to the middle. I mean, he could play to get on it now. I don't think he will. No. That's the route I mentioned. Just finished a touch straight. Should be okay. It just means that he's going to be a little bit close to the cushion on the next shot. Can't get away. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, he's left the perfect angle just to drift up now. Just run the cue ball to the cushion. There you go. Leave a slight angle. don't want to finish high. It wouldn't be a disaster, but much easier if you finish lower. Just off straight low is perfect. Straight is not good. I think he's just got an angle. I mean, yeah, I think he's okay now. I'm kind of splitting hairs. I think he could even top it through and go get the cue ball right across that side cushion and take the 8-ball. Yeah, if it was any straighter, he could have taken the 8-ball to bottom right, but he was fine.
Well, what a swing.
Yeah.
4-3 down, 5-4 up.
Yeah, all comes from that last positional shot and Greg snookered himself in the last frame. I said it was a huge mental momentum shift, and get himself on the hill. Oh, dear me, Cole. Well, Greg was unlucky in that his cue ball got kicked in off, but that's straight in from Cole. That's
the cardinal sin for any top-level player.
Didn't it ever? Work to do, though.
Yeah, you just wonder if he is going to take yellows, and I assume he sort of has to, it's all about how quickly he can deal with the bottom left.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a problem. He can leave an angle right now. Yeah, he's come a little bit straight, but he's just got an angle there. I think he can punch down.
Could he potentially leave the plant next if he went to the middle first?
Yeah, he's just looking at that middle. I wonder whether he might... Yeah, I think you have to leave the plant anyway, because they're more difficult. With the red above, they're more difficult to develop.
Yeah.
To try and get them both out.
Oh, I didn't love that.
No.
I didn't love that choice of shot, honestly.
No. I guess he felt he didn't like the plant, because the red above is on the line that you want to be for the plant. So he would have had to play the plant from really wide, which just makes it that much more tricky to pick the line.
Oh, agreed. I mean,
and I think that's why he's chosen the way he has.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it was sort of rock and a hard place, really, because it was a difficult shot either way. I think you had that same problem of playing instant, which is what he's just discovered, and he's going to pull up here.
He's got to play a double.
Oh, no,
he's got to play a double.
Oh, how well's he played it? Back on track, just like that.
Yeah, it's still tricky, though.
Well, has he got a little bit of angle to come across here and maybe take the 8-ball, the yellow to the right of the 8-ball into the middle? Has he got a fraction of angle?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay. I think he's good here.
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, I didn't. He's got yellow to middle. Just hold the cue ball. If he's got some angle, he can use the 8-ball. Just cannon to that. He's got the one to bottom left. Yeah, they are all there. So that double opened up the frame.
Oh, another swing. It was to and fro this match.
I have to assume with the angle he's left here that the yellow passes to bottom right.
He's just gone to have a look. I don't think he played for it, honestly.
I mean, it has to. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left the angle. It's fairly tight. It doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. But he's slightly hamper cueing as well, so he's just slightly elevated. No, he's okay actually. He can cue next to the red. Yeah, that's fine. You can see how close it was to the red.
And it falls though, heart the pocket, and we're going level. Momentum swings aplenty in this one. It's something he's very clearly worked on.
Oh, look at that again. That cue ball's amazing. Doesn't make a ball this time.
I think you just look at the spin on the cue ball here. I just wonder if he slightly topped this.
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't quite get the power in the pack as he has. I think he's just a fraction high on the cue ball.
Yeah, and you can see from the split, didn't he? Just didn't get that motion through the balls, but I mean, controlled the cue ball beautifully well.
Well, it's just all about accuracy, isn't it? At that point,
yeah,
it's all about how accurate is your line into that head ball, and it has been very, very good. Cole Bedford with a big chance.
Yeah, it's another one of those tables though. It's a little bit fiddly. I mean, all the reds have a pocket. I think you've got to go reds here. The yellows are. There's just too much work to do. But it's one of those clearances. They're there, but you need a good cue ball.
I always think of these sorts of clearances as these are my Mick Hill clearances. You know what I mean? These are the finishes that he made look easier than anybody else.
Yeah.
Can you pick your route through? Can you pick your pattern? Can you find a way to solve the puzzle? Because the reds all have pockets. It's just about linking it together.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if the cue ball's on a dime here, anyone can pot these, you know. But it's all about. So the biggest shot for him here is to take the red that's just above the break line and get on his next ball. That's going to be the one. And he's made it hard already because he's landed short position on that one. Has had to play that with a load of right hand side and try and come down the table. He's not come far enough. He's got the one to middle, but. I mean, if he's straight on the one to middle, he's got the one to bottom. He can then.
Ooh, yes. I think. Do you know what? I think he may well just be okay. Can he get underneath the bottom of the two reds on the triangle line? He's going to grimace and snarl and all the rest of it, but this is a finicky little finish.
If he can come across somewhere between these three yellows, so bottom cushion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, through. It's a little bit further than I would have liked, but it's. I think he's got to take the one to bottom left now and play the cannon and just. He's going to be hoping. If he takes the one to middle, I don't think he can get on the last yellow, unless there is a cannon to come down onto the. Oh, this must go through the gap. I didn't think it did. I thought he had to play this one to bottom left.
Oh, there is a gap. It's not massive. It's also very thin, so he has to kill the cue ball here.
He's going to come around to... I mean, that...
Oh, it was tough.
He's asking so much there from the cue ball.
Well, he's loaded it up with side, hasn't he? Which makes that sort of pot so difficult with the throw.
It just got tougher and tougher, J-Mo. I mean, it was unravelling for him from about 5 shots out.
It's what we said right at the start of that visit. You know, it required perfection, really.
Yeah. He came unstuck with the simple shot to land the position on the one to right centre.
Yep.
Which then left him short on the one to left centre. So then he was always chasing it from there.
And it's amazing, isn't it? This is precisely the point we were making at the start of the visit, that every single shot needs to be good. You can't afford a bad one, because as soon as you have one bad one, it just snowballs in a finish like that.
Yeah.
And actually, the simple work at the top of the table led to the hard work at the bottom, because if he's straight in on the one to right centre, he's straight in on the one to left centre, and then the three at the bottom sort of pick themselves apart a little bit. Greg's playing with his food a little bit here, and I don't mind it, but he has got to be careful that Cole doesn't do something silly.
Yeah.
And you can never count that out with him.
The thing is, he's trying to get Cole to open everything up, because the yellows are just tricky. So he's just trying to get Cole to open up the table.
He's given it a good go for him, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a good hit.
Yeah, all the yellows are there now, and this frame becomes even more important because, you know, it's killing seconds off the clock. There's 7.5 minutes left.
I think we'll just about have enough time for 3 frames, essentially, which is, well, 2.5 really, which is what we'll need if it went the distance. I don't think we're in 6 red shootout danger unless we get a really tactical one. But, you know, you never know. Sort of from a purist point of view, I don't really want this to go to a shootout. I want these two to sort of settle it in the ring.
Yep.
It's been a fabulous match. This been really, really enjoyable. I've enjoyed it at home too. It's been sort of what you might expect when you sort of you look at this match on paper and you see what the pair of them are capable of. I think we've seen both of them play to a high level in this match. But when you think about their traits and their abilities, when Greg is at, near the top of his game, which I think he's been in this match, so solid, so difficult to see him breaking down, cue ball strong. And what Cole's done, which is what he does when he's playing at his best, is he's quite an inspirational player. He's found moments where he's pulled finishes out of his behind, but he's kept pace.
Yeah.
But that can just be a slightly more difficult game to trust in the crunch.
Yeah.
Greg's been quite methodical with how he's taken these yellows out, almost in a sort of way that says, if this goes to a 6 red, I'm not that bothered.
Yeah. He's done very little wrong. He's snookered himself on that 8 ball after running out of position, but he's done very little wrong in the whole match. I mean, he's had 2 in-offs when he got kicked in off. Is it going to be 6 each?
Wow, what a break.
Well, sure.
Oh, wow. That's really tough. That's really, really tough.
I was just about to say, surely it goes to 6 each from here, but look at the 8 ball. Ouch.
Well, you've got to find a way to 3-ball plant.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to go yellows there. You've got absolutely no choice and find a way to plant it.
Can he play it now? He almost has to. I think he can play the one to the bottom left and maybe get a better line. I think that's probably the way to go, or is he going to go after it now? Big shot if he goes after it now. Has to nail this. Shot. Oh, he's played that perfectly. What a great shot. Now, can he hold himself together for 6 each?
The yellow nearest the bottom left pocket, it's going to need a bit of attention because the 2 yellows that are guarding it above it, the 2 reds that are above it, it just makes it a little bit awkward to get in and out. He may even elect to leave that as his last ball.
I think he is, yeah. Yeah, I'm almost certain that's the plan.
Because then you don't have to do too much with the cue ball.
I mean, you do really just have to be able to see the 8 ball.
Oh, this is a big angle here.
Yeah.
He might have to cannon something now. I don't think he can't hold that position. He's going. I mean, you could see from the swing of his arm that. Look at the way he's addressing that cue ball. Oh, that's a super shot. That's a super shot. It's really well controlled. Needs another one though. I mean, yeah, he's okay. He should be fine here. I mean, he can come on off the cushion, cannon the red, come above it. Just needs to give himself a sight of the 8. Yeah, not try to do anything silly there at all. Played with it himself.
We're going 6 each. This has been a cracker. It really has been a good game, this.
Yeah, it deserved the Hill game, didn't it? It really did.
I tell you what, when the chips are down, Cole Bedford there has pulled out a brilliant finish, and he's played a couple of loose shots in it. He's recovered the situation. That cue ball hits the top rail and he gets through the ball well. He's done his job. Another blinding break, and he's going to have a chance in the decider. And there's work. Which for us neutrals is what we want to see. There's some work here.
Yeah, and even more so with the red that just caught the knuckle a second ago and went down on top of the yellow. I mean, this is... You said that there was not too much chance of a 6 red shootout. With 3 minutes left, anything's possible with this leave.
Yeah, it's not nice, is it? It is not nice. 15-second shot clock as well is very much in play here. This is nice.
Yeah.
So he's going to go yellow to right centre. It's just tracked on him a little bit to the point where if he was a little bit straight, he can almost play short position on the yellow at the top of the table. I think that was the plan. Might be a slight rework of that. Yeah, going into it, that will do very nicely. Great shot. 1 more yellow to solve. 2.5 to play.
Just gone a touch too far. It's the thin cut now. loading it up with side, trying to get across to that side of the table, and he does.
Yeah.
Just about to say, I thought for a second he might have the angle on the one to middle to come back and screw into that yellow, but he's not. He's just come just a quarter of an inch too far.
He's tucking up.
Oh, he is.
Oh, we're about to go into the mixer. Less than 2 to play. Cole Bedford to the table in the decider. It's all you want if you're not breaking in the decider is the opportunity to come to the table, but look at what he's been left. It is not a lot.
Well, I think Cole can get past that yellow to actually, it's one of those you can maybe go cush first and catch that red, but he doesn't want to move it.
No, that's his lifeboat essentially.
Yeah,
good hit.
Yeah, gave it plenty of power just to make sure that he did make a cushion.
Oh, how's your cueing, Greg? Do you risk going after that yellow bottom left and screwing into the yellow? Because it's on.
It is on, yeah, he's got the gap.
Oh, he stopped it dead. He's going to go, yeah, I like this way. It's the better way. It's the better way.
Minute left. If he takes his time here, he's got a free go at it because Cole won't have enough time to make the clearance, even if it's all about this shot, how the yellow comes out. Ooh, now then.
I think he's thin enough to track across here.
Well, he might be, but how'd you get on the 8?
It's not a guaranteed finish. Well, one thing we can say is Cole Bedford won't win this match in the allotted time. It's either going to be a Greg Batten win or a 6 red shootout.
Well, he's left a massive angle. He's left it so he can naturally get down on the 8 with just a trace aside. He's left a massive angle, but this is very, very missable.
Got to play this. 20, 17, 16, 15.
Very missable.
Clock ticking. Oh, what a shot that is.
No, that's not going to drop.
And we will
Not
go the distance. Greg Batten and Cole Bedford could not be separated, and they end it with a shake of hands and an embrace. Wouldn't surprise me if Cole logged a really good time here. That's the sort of thing that could happen.
Oh, it's going to be.
This has come out really nicely.
Oh, just that little moment where he's had to reroute there. It's those 2 reds that were covering each other. I'm surprised he played a plant there.
No, I quite like that shot. Just killed the cue ball.
Oh.
It's all right.
Well, it's good now it dropped. He's going to be about 26, 27, 26.
Okay.
That's not as good as he would have hoped for sure.
It's amazing how quick that clock can get away from you, isn't it?
I think that's just under 27.
Cole's break was actually perfect.
Well, yeah, they felt like they stuck together. They didn't move much, but actually they came out really well.
Okay. Just had to wait for 1 red to settle there.
That might cost him, Just that cue ball coming across his path. This should be fine here. He should be absolutely fine. If he doesn't miss anything. He's a bit close to his work. Oh, he could stun across the face.
Might need. Oh, he's played this beautifully, Greg Batten.
Easy work.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Greg Batten beats Cole Bedford by way of 6 red shootout. A really, really good 6 red from Greg in the end there, and just about, would you say, Nick, a deserving winner?
I think so. I think he made less mistakes in the game. Like the couple of times he got kicked in off from the break, and that really did keep Cole in it. I think there's some great stuff from both players. You can't take anything away from Cole, but there were just 1 or 2 more mistakes from Cole Bedford there, and I think on paper, I think a deserved winner in Greg.
Yeah, match the tournament so far though. It will take some beating as well. We'll catch up with Greg in just a moment.